In this episode and in this video, I'm going to talk about why you cannot solve relationship problems on your own. And I'm going to explain why. You got to think, first of all, that everybody has relationship problems, and you specifically have the one you're going through, whatever that is, right? And as a man, it's obviously annoying to have relationship challenges, and you want them to go away. And if you're a normal high achiever guy, you're going to try to solve those relationship problems the way you do other problems like math or business, spreadsheets, your health, fitness goals. And it's a completely different animal here. So that's not going to work. And I can say more about that later in the video. But a lot of guys, unfortunately, high performer guys in particular, are going to ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini as their personal coach for relationship problems. For example, I was working with a guy who uploaded his entire text history with his ex-partner and was having the AI coach him on what to do. And, it can be helpful. Of course, you can get insights and all that. But I can tell you right now, you are not going to solve your marriage problems with AI, because AI doesn't know what it's like to be married, and it doesn't have a nervous system, and it doesn't have a trauma history. It's void of any of that, which is why you kind of like it, right? It doesn't get triggered by you. And why some men are going to like these female robots they're building that they can have sex with is because they're not complicated. They don't get triggered. But I can guarantee the loneliness deal in men is still going to be there. I don't care how much you have sex with a robot, you're still going to feel really lonely because it does not satiate the attachment bond that gets created with another human. Anyway, that was a tangent. Back to, you can't solve relationship problems by yourself. So some guys aren't even using AI, but they're in their head all day, like you, maybe trying to figure it out. Well, what did she say? And I said this, and I can't, blah, blah, blah. And you're largely doing it on your own. Let's look at why you do that, and then let's bring in an alternative. And if you're a father, I'm going to share why this is particularly problematic for you if you're a dad, all right? So why do men typically try to solve relationship problems by themselves? Well, because that's, when you were a kid, you didn't have anyone to go to with your relationship problems. And when you did go to someone, likely your mother, because she was more relational than your father, most likely, she didn't necessarily know what to do, but she might have comforted you, maybe, right, if you were lucky. When you were feeling alone or sad or scared about girl problems or boy problems on the playground, it's possible you got some emotional support, but it's likely you got little to no support. So when you had relationship problems as a boy on the playground or with your siblings or as you started dating girls, you had nowhere to go, right? Because the big people, your parents and caregivers, couldn't handle your feelings and your emotional upset, and they had no fucking clue what to do with it, right? So they just shut it down, gave you a phone, changed the channel, put you in front of the TV, or did whatever they did, and you moved on, right? My dad kind of basically was like, suck it up, dude. Stop fucking crying about it. So I sucked it up. Okay, got it. Nobody is here for me. I am on my own. I will take my relationship problems underground, and I will pretend they don't exist. And of course, that came bubbling out when I would drink alcohol in college. Everything would come out sideways, and I would act out, and I would act like an asshole. And all my relationship problems with women as I started dating didn't go anywhere because I wasn't willing to raise my hand and go to therapy. I didn't know that was an option. I didn't even know psychotherapy was a thing in college, that I could have gotten help. But had you offered it to me, I probably would have said, no, thank you, I'm fine. So this is the maze, right, that us men find ourselves in. The point being here is that you had nowhere to go with your relationship problems. So of course, you're going to keep doing it on your own, right? And when you try to work it out with your girlfriend or wife, your chops are inadequate for the job. You don't have the same skills as either her or a more empowered man who's really on his communication game and knows how to handle her emotions and is emotionally present and attuned. That guy's going to know what to do. You're not. So until you develop those skills, right, it's going to be hard for you. And how do you develop those skills? In relationship, of course, not with ChatGPT and not with AI. You learn through repetition, over and over, listening more effectively to other humans. And that's the awesome part of relationships with other people, is its practice. So the other thing I want to say, my wife and I just recorded another podcast on something similar where we talked about how some men will go to individual therapy or coaching versus couples therapy. So go listen to that episode. It's on the Relational Longevity podcast for couples, also on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And you can hear my wife talk about why it's problematic to just do individual work if you have relationship challenges with an adult partner. Okay, so you can go see a therapist or coach on your own. That is a much better step than just being in your head about it. I like that you're using AI occasionally. Like that can help a little bit. It can give you some insight or a pointer, something to try, something to say. Try saying it this way. They can give you scripts on what to say during a repair conversation. You can upload my book and the whole thing and say, what would Jayson Gaddis do in this moment? Yeah, you can do all kinds of shit like that, right? So, okay, cool. We can acknowledge technology that it could help a little. And to really move the needle, you're going to need to hire someone who knows what the fuck they're doing in their relationship life, all right? Find coaches and therapists who have a high degree of competency with their marriage or long-term relationship, because that's the area you're struggling in, right? That's how you want to get help and who you want to get help from. You don't want to get help from some new Kaiser therapist that's in his late 20s or she's in her early 30s and she's, been married 1 year. No, the question you want to ask them is, how is your marriage? When you're interviewing therapists or coaches, how is your long-term relationship? And just watch them and see if they give you an honest answer. It's amazing to me how many people go to couples counselors who don't know what the fuck they're talking about or doing in their own life, in their own personal life. How are they going to guide and counsel you? It's going to be hard. Now, it doesn't mean they can't be divorced. Of course, there's very good divorced, competent therapists and coaches who know what the hell they are doing, but those people have typically 20 to 30 years experience sitting with people day in and day out. Those people are very qualified, all right? If they're not lazy. If they challenge the shit out of you, hire them, right? Okay, so we're going from doing it by myself in my head, journaling, or just trying to change the subject to, okay, at least I'll use AI. Okay, that's a step in the right direction. And then we're taking it off AI and going to a real person. And then we're working on our relationship issues there as an individual, with an individual coach or therapist. Cool. Then you can take it to a couples therapist or coach. That's very good. You're going to get even farther. Okay. You want to hire people that know what the hell they're doing. Now, the last place and the very best place to heal your relationship traumas and challenges is inside of a long-term relationship. Why? And what is the difference between that and a therapist or coach? Why? Because it's every day, all day. The stakes are higher here than anywhere else, right? It's an equal relationship. It's not a power dynamic where the therapist or coach has more authority and power than you do because you're paying them, and it's a one-way relationship. You're not trying to help them with some area of their life. Okay, so it's not mutual. It's not equal. So it's very different. Ideally, in a marriage or long-term relationship, it's equal, shared power. And you have to deal with this person who becomes difficult after the honeymoon stage at times. You got to learn how to communicate. You got to learn how to listen. You got to learn how to share without being a complete jerk or moron. You have to be considerate of the impact of your behavior day in and day out, every day, all day, right? Year in and year out. That is the work. That is the practice. That is the goal. That's the destination. That's the path. Everything is inside of this long-term relationship. And it's the most opportunity for healing that you'll ever get is in a long-term relationship. Why? Because the attachment system turns on the same system that got turned on in your brain and nervous system from age 0 to 18. That's why it activates you into all of your old family of origin stuff. That's the good news and bad news, right? And I think it's a incredible path, marriage and long-term relationship. My marriage is my spiritual path. Okay. My home is my church, as my friend Josh Trent says. This is where I go and I do the work daily. And I have grown more in my marriage than anywhere else, but that's because my eyes are wide open. I'm willing to get help. I'm not asking my wife to be my therapist, although she is one. I go to someone else for that. We go to a person when we're struggling. All right. So it is so critical. You're in a relational field. Use it. Use it to your advantage to develop yourself and grow. And some of you might be asking, well, what if I'm divorced or single? Well, then you're using your other high stakes relationships. You're healing and integrating your past relationship to the point where you're no longer pointing the finger at your ex. You're grateful that it happened because it was a good path and a good lesson for you. You fell down. You made a lot of mistakes. You're not going to repeat them in the next relationship. You're ready for the next relationship. You're making yourself ready, right, to be an amazing partner. That's what you're doing. But you're doing it in relationship. You're not just sitting on your fucking computer talking to AI all day about it. No. Get with real people and get honest, which brings up another thing. Get with friends who can actually talk about what's actually going on in your intimate relationship life, including the shame, the grief, the despair, the rage, the joy, the hope, the inspiration, the enthusiasm, all the range, right? Highs and lows. You want to be able to talk to real people, friends, about all of it. So stop doing relationship problems by yourself. Get into relationship with people and start dealing with it and them. All right? Yeah, cool. I'll be doing a men's retreat, for example, in November. You could possibly apply for that. You can hire me as a coach. You can hire other coaches and professionals. You can get in a men's group, get in my men's group, whatever. But get out of isolation because it will accelerate. If you want it through the pain and through the annoyance of this whole thing, relationships are the path, the way out. All right. Cool. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video and/or podcast.